right, so for the next one, I'm going to read the sentence first. And it says, based on the passage, which of the following is not true? So this is one of those where you're kind of looking for the contradiction. So here's what I like to do when I have problems like this. I like to read the question, and as I'm not the question, I'm sorry. I like to read the paragraph. And as I'm reading the paragraph, as soon as I start seeing like mentionings of the answer choices, I start checking them off. And I'm like, okay, well, this one is true because the paragraph said it. This one is true because the paragraph said it. And at the end, whichever one doesn't have my check mark, it means that one can't be true. Or if it's going directly against something my paragraph is saying, I know that has to be false. So we have that December is the 12th month and last month in our modern day Gregorian calendar, as it was in the preceding Julian calendar. However, it was originally the 10th month on the Roman calendar. Hence, December comes from the Latin word decem, meaning 10. Back in Roman times, the calendar only had 10 months and began with March. The month of December originally consisted of 30 days. When January and February were added to the calendar around 700 BCE, December was shortened to 29 days. Then, in the subsequent Julian calendar, 2 days were added to December, making it 31 days long. So, I'm going to go through these answer choices and just check off which one was said. The original calendar only had 10 months, later adding 2 months to make it 12. They mentioned that. They mentioned that the original calendar was originally 10 months, and then they added January and February. And they actually had it here, only had 10 months. So this one is definitely mentioned, so that one can't be the answer. That one is true. December has always been the last month of the calendar. Well, they mention here that it was originally the 10th month, and there was originally 10, so it was the last one. And then it got pushed to be the 12th and last month. So it was the last month before, and it's still the last month now. That is true. January has always been the first month of the calendar. Well, they mention here that back then, the calendar began with March, not January. So that one is false. That one is not being supported by our paragraph. So I know that that one is going to be my answer because that's the one that is not true. So this is going to be my answer, the one that is completely contradicting what my paragraph says. And these types of questions, I'm not going to lie to you, these types of questions are annoying because in our heads, we're used to looking for like, okay, this one's the true one. This one's the one that makes a match. So when we start having questions about like going backwards, like look for the one that isn't true, our brains like get all twisted. So that's why I try to break it down to something simple as just like, I'm going to check off the ones that I know are showing up on my paragraph, whichever one doesn't show up or is going against, that one has to be the answer. Questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So for the next one, it says, according to the passage, why did the Wright brothers choose the village of Kitty Hawk for their flight test? This is an example of a detailed question. So they're focusing on the detail of why did they choose this town. So the paragraph states that near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, Orville and Wilbur, right, made the first recorded flight in history of a powered, heavier than air aircraft. Orville was born in Dayton, Ohio, while his business partner and older brother, Wilbur Wright, was born on a farm near Millville, Indiana. As young men, they opened up a bicycle sales repair shop in 1892 and started building their own bicycles. With their mechanical ingenuity, they soon moved on to building airplanes. Their first design was a glider that they tested unsuccessfully in 1900 and then tested again with a new design in 1901. The Wrights chose the test at Kitty Hawk, a small village on North Carolina's Outer Bank, due to its many sand dunes, ideal for providing soft landings. I'm going to stop right there. That's the detail I was looking for. They chose Kitty Hawk because of many sand dunes, which was ideal for providing soft landings. Okay, my iPad is like malfunctioning. So right there we have the answer. We just need to look for which one of these is obviously stating that. So it was the village they both grew up? No. It was a town that allowed them to work? No. It had land that provided soft landings for their flight tests. Right
Yes.
then and there. So again, these that are focusing on details, the moment you hit that sentence that mentions the detail, you stop and you're like, okay, I just need to look for which answer choice is literally mentioning this detail, this sentence that my paragraph gives me. All right. According to the passage, which of the following statements would be true? So this is an opposite to what we saw before, which was not true. This one is like, okay, which one is true? Which means we're going to have 3 of these are going to be super wrong and only one of them is going to make sense. So an extraordinary event will be taking place for the first time in 50,000 years. A green comet that hasn't appeared in Earth's night sky since the time of the woolly mammoth will make its closest approach in the night between February 1st and February 2nd. Scientists have calculated that the period of orbit of the comet, named comet blah blah blah, is about 50,000 years. During this passing, the comet will be visible to an unaided eye in areas with minimal light pollution, but experts suggest using a pair of binoculars or a telescope for the best look. The comet is made up of complex carbon chain molecules that are destroyed by the sun's light and broken into simpler carbon diatomic molecules. According to the scientists who discovered it, this is what causes its green aura. Although we'll be able to see it, don't mistake it for being close. The comet will be passing at a distance of about 28 million miles away. So we're going to figure out which one of these answer choices is true based on what we read. So the comet is remaking an appearance for humans on Earth to see again. Is this true or false?
That's false.
Why is it false?
Because he doesn't. Because I don't. I mean, I just say because I have confidence saying it's just false. I don't know how to really tell you, to be honest. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. I like the confidence. I like the confidence.
I don't know, to be honest. I want to say the answer, but I just say it's false.
Here's kind of how you find your explanation to your confidence. They mentioned that it's making a reappearance for the first time in 50 years. Humans didn't exist 50,000 years ago. It didn't exist 50,000 years ago. So to be remaking an appearance for humans, that's impossible. Humans didn't exist 50,000 years ago. So it ain't that one.
Yeah.
Those who see the comet today will not be around to see the comet next time it makes orbit.
No.
Your confidence is eating into
Yeah,
it?
exactly. I was about to say no.
All right, so you're suspecting no?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to mark it as no. The green color of the comet comes from nitrogen molecules.
Yes, because if you see where it says the comet is made up of complex carbon, and if you read it where it says the comet is made of, and you stop where it says green aura, whatever that says, I don't know where that. If you read that whole thing, that's why it's telling you a whole statement, but in a whole different version, just to like tell you that's the right answer,
Well, unfortunately, your confidence was wrongly placed.
Oh.
So I'm glad you pointed out the sentence, though, because that's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to point out the sentence to you. But the paragraph says that it's made up of carbon molecules, not nitrogen. 2 completely different elements. So because they mention here nitrogen, but in reality it's carbon, those are very different elements. That's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That's wrong. So it's not that one. And then it says, without binoculars or a telescope, you will not be able to see the comet.
Yeah, I should say because if you, it's like a sentence right before where you just highlighted the whole thing. It's like right before it.
So it says, during this passing, a comet will be visible to the unaided eye areas with minimal pollution, but experts suggest using a pair of binoculars or a telescope for the best look.
Yeah.
So again, we highlighted the correct sentence, but read it carefully. Is it telling you that you cannot see it unless you have binoculars or a telescope? Or is it telling you that you can see it, but if you had binoculars, you could see it better?
Oh.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, so it's literally telling you that it will be visible. It will be visible to the unaided eye, meaning you can see it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I woke up at midnight and like walked outside my backyard and I got to see the comet and it was cool as heck. But you can see it. But if you want the best view of it, for the best look, then you want to use binoculars or a telescope. But if you didn't have binoculars or telescope, you can still see it. But obviously it's not going to look as great. So it's not going to be the last one because you will be able to see it. So we ended up marking all 4 of them wrong. One of them has to be right. So y'all want to give it a second round and tell me which one do you think might be it?
This one's tough.
Thank you. I'm very proud. I wrote this one.
It has to be either the first or second option because you just cleared up the third and the fourth option is not the right one, so it has to be either the first or second one.
The second one, I think so.
It's going to be the second one. Because again, we stated that obviously 50,000 years ago there was no humans. Now, look carefully at what the second one is saying. The second one is saying those who see the comet today, in other words, me, that I went to go outside and see it, they will not be around to see the comet next time it makes orbit. The orbit of this comet is about 50,000 years. That means it's going to take about 50,000 years for it to come around again. And I promise you, unless Google and Apple get together and make some kind of cloning technology, I am not going to be here to see the comet come around again. So those who see the comet today will not be here next time it comes around because the next time it comes around is going to be in 50,000 years. No one is going to live for 50,000 years to see the comet again. So the only one that matches is going to be this one.
I mean, even if it never said 50,000, it never talk about human beings.
I'm sorry?
Even if it never said 15,000 years, it was not talking about humans.
It was not talking about humans, you said?
Yeah, even if it never told you 50 years ago.
Well, but again, you're assuming it says that it's gonna make a reappearance for the first time in 50,000 years. So I'm reading the first sentence. It says it's gonna take place for the first time in 50,000 years. So it happened 50,000 years ago. It's happening again now. It's gonna happen again in 50,000 years from now. So even though they don't mention humans, what do they mention? They mention that it was during the time of mammoths, of woolly mammoths.
Animals.
So that was like Ice Age time. Back then, humans were not around. We had ancestors that were like kind of humans, but not quite human yet. So they don't mention, the reason why they mention woolly mammoths is for you to think of, okay, that was a long time ago. Mammoths were back here like during the Ice Age, and they ain't no humans during the Ice Age. They were like, what was they called? What were they called? Oh my God, what were they called? The people who lived in caves. Cavemen. Wow. I'm dumb. So it was cavemen that were living back then and not humans. They were kind of humans, but not quite. So again, following just what the paragraph gives me, they're telling me it happened 50,000 years ago. They ain't got no humans 50,000 years ago. So that's why the first one is incorrect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you kind of have to be able to see and interpret what the paragraph is saying. Yeah, it's not like I expect you to know what was the type of animal roaming around 50,000 years ago. It's not that. It's just with your logical sense, you could say, hold on, 50,000 years ago, humans were not around. We're in the what is it? We're in the 21st century and we didn't show up till like maybe like the third. So you kind of have to piece that together and see like, okay, well, 50,000 years ago, there was no humans. So, all right. So I did get a chance to do all the word knowledge and paragraph comprehension. So High five to me. I do have some of the arithmetic reasoning and the math knowledge that unfortunately I didn't get a chance to do, but I will do it tonight in our 8 p.m. class. I'll just like grab them and put them over there. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna leave the math ones there. Feel free to give them a try if you want to. I'm gonna do them anyway tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. If you would like me to send you a copy of the notes from today, I'm gonna put my email on the chat. Go ahead and just send me a quick little email saying, hi, can I get the notes from today? Because if you send me your email, I promise you 2 things. 1, I'm gonna forget, and 2, I will type your email wrong. So if you just email me, it's a lot easier because I just click reply and I send you the notes. So there's my email in the chat, and I'm gonna send you the attendance form because I don't want to forget that either. I'm gonna send you the attendance form so you can fill it out if you want to have today count towards your attendance. If you want today, this class to count towards your February challenge, go ahead and fill out the form, please. It's literally just gonna ask you for your name and your email. And I will go ahead and take that into account so that at the end of February, if you attend 5 classes or more, but you just need to attend 5, you're going to get a free timed practice test that I'm working on as we speak. So, yeah. Do we have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
No.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, then I
Oh.
hope you guys have a. Oh, I heard an O.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Can you go back from the 3 and 4 where I left off? Because I was behind on that question. No, I'm sorry. I think it was a 2 and 3 from that paragraph.
2 and 3.
Kind of write it because I forgot.
It's okay. I can send it to you so that way you can have all of it.
Oh, okay. That'll be fine.
Yeah. All right, so if you guys don't have any questions, then I will go ahead and let you guys go. And I hope to see you tonight in our 8 p.m. class. If you have any questions, feel free to email me to that same email that I put on the chat. Bye, guys. Have a great rest of your
Bye.
day.
You
Bye.
too.
Thank you.
Bye. See
See
ya.
ya.
Bye.